What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Classic Octane. I am Taylor. So we have a little bit of time today to work on the Corvettes. I have a bit of a to-do list on the black one so that we can actually get it registered and on the road and the title transferred and all that kind of stuff. Still figuring out the long-term plan for the blue one, but I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of an update and see how much work we can get done today. Let's start off with an overview of where we're at with the projects. I do have two of the original Z06 wheels kind of set aside right here. I'm waiting for some tires to come in so that I can have 4 matching wheels with roadworthy tires for when we're ready to actually test drive this thing. We'll be ready to go there. I've been doing some research on the best possible way to repair this rear tub. I've talked to my uncle, who is a high-end body repair guy. He's been in the industry for like 25 years. And he said the best way to repair this would be to replace the entire rear tub. He's like, this is not technically fiberglass. It's what's called SMC, which I think stands for sheet molded composite, something like that. So it's not actually fiberglass. It can be repaired somewhat similar to fiberglass, but the best kind of structural repair would be to completely replace this rear tub. So that's what I've been on the lookout for, is a replacement tub. I've called around to a bunch of different junkyards and all over the place here in Texas, and I have not been able to source one that's nearby. There's a couple on eBay, and they're actually pretty reasonably priced. The issue is nobody will ship them. They're too big, they're too fragile, that nobody's going to guarantee that they actually make it in one piece. So I would have to drive to like Florida or something to pick one up. I'm just not quite ready to do that. So I am still in the market trying to figure out the best way to get a rear tub for this car, which brings me to the blue one. Obviously, the easiest solution would be to cut the rear tub off the blue one, graft it onto the black one, and be good to go. But this car, I'm still figuring out what to do with the blue one. So if you remember from the first video, this car is a 2004. It's actually much better condition overall than the black one is because it's not wrecked. The issue with it is I still don't have the title, and I mentioned it in that first video that I was a little bit weary that the guy was not going to pull through and get me the title. Unfortunately, that does seem to be the case. He still claims he's working on it and is going to the DMV and is going to get it for me, but I mean, I would put it down in the 10% chance I get a title for the blue car. But it is still a complete car that can be put together as a track car with not a huge amount of work. So I think it's most valuable as it sits right now. Whether I build it into a track car and the blue one becomes my project and I sell off the black one, or if I were to sell the blue one, it's going to be, you know, worth the most amount of money in its current state. So I'm not ready to chop up this guy just yet. Ideally, I would find one that was wrecked in the front and someone's just kind of parting out the back of it or something. I don't know. I'm going to kind of keep searching and keep figuring out what to do. But what I want to do today is continue to try and get the black car to a state where I can actually get it on the road, get it inspected, so I can go through and actually get the rebuilt title for this. So right now it has what's called a salvage title. I have to get the car roadworthy, get it inspected, then I can go to the DMV and actually get it issued a rebuilt title, which I can have tags and everything and drive it on the car, drive it on the road just like any other car. So what I want to do today is just kind of steal a couple of parts off the blue one and see how they fit on the black car to see if it's going to be enough for us to kind of hot glue this thing together enough to put it on the street temporarily, just so I can start that title transfer process. I got the fender off. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. Go ahead and pull that back. There's a bracket I'll have to steal off of that one too. I'll hold these together. There is basically no mounts on this entire top part. This like kind of slides in. So we have the full mounts on the bottom, a couple mounts on the back, and then we can actually probably put our inner fender in there. What I'm looking for here is to have a rough looking Corvette that can be driven on the street without getting pulled over immediately. If I try to drive this thing with the back half of the car missing, any cop that sees me is immediately going to pull me over. That'd probably happen either way, but just trying to see. We obviously have a bunch of damage to this rear roof panel. We'll have to address down the road. It doesn't look good, don't get me wrong, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. So with the deck lid kind of just laid on top in place, this thing just about looks like a complete piece of junk. Complete being the key word there. Like everything's still very janky. Obviously, it goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. This is by no means the proper way to fix anything. This is barely even considered a fix. Again, we're just trying to put a, Band-Aid over this thing, some lipstick on the pig, so to speak, to get it down the road. Thankfully, cosmetics have absolutely nothing to do with passing a safety inspection here in Texas. All they're worried about is like the actual, brakes and make your lights work and all that kind of stuff, headlights and wiper blades and, the safety stuff, and then some emissions testing, but nothing about cosmetics matters. So, obviously that's the case with what we're working with here. So I'm going to keep on going. I mean, I really think that this is going to work out for the temporary solution we need. And then, when we get it inspected and all that's good to go, we can blow all this apart and fix it all properly. But so far so good. I do need to go ahead and get this bracket straightened out. That actually goes and connects the rear bumper to this rear fender right here. That will hold all of that together. And I'm going to start screwing stuff in. The only piece of the puzzle I haven't yet figured out is where our hinges mount for the deck lid. They're completely ripped out. So this little area right here, there's 2 bolts on each side that are right in that tub, and both of those areas are completely missing on mine. So the trunk is actually not bolted anywhere. It'll be latched on the rear, but I'll have to figure out some sort of solution to kind of temporarily hold it in place, just so that it doesn't fly off when we're going down the road. With the new tub, of course, all of that will be fixed. So I'm gonna try and permanently mount everything, and then I'll show you guys what that looks like. And just like that, we have a National Corvette Museum quality, perfect example of a C5 Z06 that is most certainly not causing my uncle to unsubscribe from my channel right now and disown me from the family because of the quality of work that I have achieved here. Okay, in all seriousness, this car is supposed to be a fun-haver, adult go-kart, get in, turn the key, beat the ever-living crap out of it, and not have a single care in the world. That's like the purpose of this thing, is to be a stress relief. I don't want it to be nice. That is not the point of this car. And that's exactly what we've ended up with, is a car that in theory, once we get to take it out on the road and actually test drive it, should be mechanically a incredible, probably 500 plus rear wheel horsepower Z06 that just looks like a garbage can. And that is honestly perfect. So I'm really, really stoked on how it turns out. I know some of you guys are just like completely not understanding the point. Maybe you will when we actually drive this thing and you see the smile on my face and the joy that I trust it will bring. We'll go further. This is not its final form. I do want to say that at least one more time. But for where we're at right now in the project, I'm pretty stoked. I wish I had my tires already so that I could go and drive this thing right now. I might try and figure out if, I wonder if the wheels off my Camaro will fit. I don't think the Camaro wheel will fit, but this front tire is dry rotted but acceptable. I'm gonna put that on and we're gonna at least go around the block in this thing because I have not driven it a single foot and I'm dying to do so. So let me throw this wheel on there and we'll just limp it around the block. False alarm. I pulled this thing off and it is seconds away from delaminating and catastrophic failure, so there's no way I'm going a single foot on this tire. But I want to test this fitment out anyway because I plan to run these wheels as my kind of drift setup. These are 18s. These actually have the exact same size tire that I want to run, which is a 265/35/18. In combination with that one right there, will get us a matching set of rears. I will probably have to source another set of 18s to be able to have. I want to have, I want to have at least 4 fresh tires for a drift event, and we can see how long those last. I will probably try and find a match for the other C6 wheel that's on the front of this blue car. But let's go ahead and just bolt it on there just to see what the fitment looks like. So this is what the basic drift setup will look like. I know that I could have just looked at this side, but I wanted to just double check everything with a tire that's actually, filled with air and just check all the clearances and everything. It does probably need a spacer to kind of fill out the wheel well a little bit, but even more importantly is it desperately needs an alignment. You see how towed in that rear wheel is? That's just because we replaced that, for lack of a better term, tie rod end and just didn't adjust it at all. So I have some toe plates on order so that I can actually set up all the toe and everything. We'll kind of do some research on what a lot of people that drift these cars set them up at as far as alignment specs go, and we can figure that out. We also desperately need to lower this thing. It is full monster truck spec. And luckily these are adjustable from the factory, so I can just kind of lower it all the way, maybe remove the lowering bolts, get this thing nice and low to the ground. In the not too distant future, I do want to put a set of coilovers on this car, but for now, we're probably just gonna run the stock suspension just until we kind of feel this thing out and make sure that all the rest of the components and everything are gonna be good to go before we spend any more money on upgrading things. But that is not too bad. I mean, come on. So that's where we're gonna have to pause for now until my alignment plates and tires come in. Once those get here, I will throw them on. We'll do a kind of garage alignment, and then I will take you guys on the first test ride to make sure this thing mechanically all works and everything comes together nicely. Assuming all that goes well, we can take it to get it inspected. With a passed inspection, we can start that title transfer process. So that should all be good to go, hopefully, in the next few weeks. If you were to ask me today, I am actually leaning towards building the blue car into our track drift toy thing. And the reason why that is kind of becoming the case is I realize that even if I don't have a title for the blue car, I plan on trailering the car to pretty much all the events anyway, because I'm gonna need to bring a bunch of tires. If I break it at the event, I don't wanna be stuck there. I already have a car trailer and a truck. There's just a lot of reasons why I plan to trailer it. So if I'm gonna take a trailer, I don't really need the car to be registered on the street, which means I don't really need a title. So the blue car is better not only cosmetically, but also, there's no real body damage. It's got less miles on the chassis itself. There's a couple of reasons of why that might make more sense. It's already kind of stripped down, and if I'm building a dedicated track car, we don't need air conditioning and like all of those extra components. We can basically strip it down to just what is needed. And then kind of customize those things so it'll be a little bit lighter weight. There's just a decent amount of reasons why the blue car might end up being a better track toy. And then the black car, the body is so rough, I have some pretty interesting plans with the other car where we're going to be removing the body, making like a vet cart hot rod kind of thing. I'm not going to get into too many details right now, but that might be a perfect car to lose the body because the body is super rough. So as of today, I'm probably going to build the blue car, but again, I could change my mind tomorrow. So we're just going to stop it there for now. If you guys have made it this far, I really do appreciate it. I know this series isn't for everyone, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.